All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are other mediums on which you can enjoy this content. But the best way, in my opinion, is to go to the blog, which is parked at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. But that's a lot to remember and a lot to type in. So, wherever you are interacting with this content, look for a prompt of more info, intro, description, something of that nature. Activate that, and another box will open that will have a link directly to the blog, the free blog. And you don't even have to put your email in, and I'm not selling anything. All right, so um, thank you. For those of you who don't know or don't care, it was my birthday today, and so I got lots of gifts and love showering, and I'll try to get back to everyone. Well, I will. It just may be tomorrow or the next day, but I didn't do YouTube, so I think I did some, but so I'll get to you guys. And yeah, because I don't like to just do the same thing over and over and over, right? I like to try to at least say something a little different. All right, but anyway, so, and it was a holiday in Iraq. I'm not exactly sure what the holiday was, but so the news was kind of slow. But what came out, you guys? This first article, I think is pretty serious. Okay, and what else? There was something else I wanted to say. If you, so at 11 minutes and 11 seconds, a little icon's going to pop up, and you could just click on that. You might have to click it twice, and you subscribe, and that's free. All right. So then I don't know if the notifications work, but I guess you have to hit a bell, and it may ask you a question. What do you want to receive from this person? And you say all or everything or something like that. All right. So like I said, it was Monday. We're in a new month. We're in a new month, and this is suddenly September. All right. So a new week tomorrow. They'll be back to work. We'll be back to work, and maybe some things will happen. Okay. So we already know the Treasury took Iraq off the dollar, right? Was that, oh my gosh, it's September. So was that early this year or was it the end of 2024? I can't remember. Time goes by so fast, but we were happy, right? Oh yeah. So it was the beginning of this year. They were not supposed to use the dollar anymore. And we find that they are, right? Okay. So this came out today. Well, this is how I titled it because this title here doesn't seem to strike how I think this is really serious. Maybe I'm off base. But okay. Iraq at risk, U.S. may halt dollar supply. So then the boring title, if you click this link right here and you'll go to the article and it's gonna have this title right here. Okay. U.S. warning, the Federal Reserve is considering cutting off the dollar to Iraq. Now if I'm Iraq, that's scary because they have my money. Remember, the oil revenue, it doesn't even go to Iraq. It goes straight to the New York Federal Reserve. So, let's see. It says this is exclusive, but yeah, right. Well, I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. Exclusive sources revealed to the news on Monday that the U.S. Federal Reserve is studying imposing economic sanctions on Iraq, which could include cutting off the dollar from the country. If what is described as the smuggling of hard currency to Iran continues. And not only that, they also found some more oil being smuggled to Iran, but guess through who? Kurdistan. Mm-hmm. Yep. So those pipelines being off is giving them opportunities, right, to do things because it's not being metered. It's not being barreled up and sold in the um, legal way, legal monitored, measured way, right? So maybe there's more than one reason why they don't have it, connected and working. So it says sources confirmed that U.S. warnings were communicated to the Iraqi government and central banks some time ago, demanding an end to dollar smuggling. However, according to the sources, the government has not yet taken any practical steps to comply with U.S. directives, and smuggling has continued unabated. Sources indicate that previous meetings were held between Iraqi officials and American parties, where the danger posed by continued currency smuggling to Iraqi economy was highlighted. However, the issue has not been resolved, and no signals of compliance have been sent by the current government. Economic analysts view these developments as a direct blow to the government and the Central Bank of Iraq, warning that continued smuggling could lead to a major economic crisis, weaken the country's ability to secure basic needs in hard currency, and increase pressure on the dollar price in the local market, which is it's already happening, right? It's 1437.5 was the opening. That was the high, right? Or not the high, but the sell, right? So, well, I know bid and ask. So that would have been the ask, right? Then the other one is lower. It was lower, but still it's a higher a higher low. I hate that, but that's the best way to describe that. So yeah. So we'll see what happens actually this week. But I think Thursday is another holiday that is not celebrated by everyone in the country, but same thing. People come to visit. Some people don't go to work. So I don't know that we'll see a big reduction in the parallel market to the dollar rate this week. Plus, it's going to be a short week, right, for us. Well, if you work at an office, now you have 4 days to work. They have 3, actually 2. If they're one of the people that are going to take off Thursday, they'll work Tuesday, Wednesday. They'll be off Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, so we'll see. All right, let's see. Ability to, yeah. So last paragraph. The question now arises, will the Iraqi government take urgent action before U.S. threats turn into actual sanctions that cut Iraq's dollar's lifeline? Or will the smuggling issue continue to fuel the country's economic crisis? Now, one thing that confuses me about this, we control their ability to change the rate, right? Ultimately, everything they do goes through us. I know some of you don't believe that. You can't wrap your head around it, whatever. That's just the way it is. Iraq is now a colony of us, just like we're a colony of someone else. You know, that's just how it is. But then at the same time, we tell them, hey, you need to do this with your currency. You need to do this with the exchange rate, even though we're the one causing the problem, right? But this, I think, is different, right? Now we're saying, yeah, you've done all this stuff. Your electric payments are up, and you're doing banking reform. But guess what? You can't change your rate as long as you're still smuggling this money and this oil. So I think it is on them this time, right? All right. So, yeah. Okay. Now, I'm not sure why they're running this article again. Iraq advances WTO accession with completion of key files. There's literally no new information in here. Same thing, the process is moving steadily in coordination with national and international bodies, right? Following the resumption of talks, the submission of updated trade documents, blah, blah, blah. But one thing I will say, this last paragraph is basically a definition of the World Trade Organization and what it is and why it would benefit if you think it's a benefit a country to be a part of it. So I'm just going to read this sentence here. Ascension to the WTO, Hanun is the person who's speaking, stressed, is a strategic step to integrate Iraq into the global trading system, attract investment, and strengthen the competitiveness of national exports, with the government committed to expediting the process while safeguarding economic sovereignty. So they don't want to push products outside to other countries at the detriment of their society, right? So they have to get up to the level that is good enough to feed their people, medicate their people, clothe their people, whatever the items are that they want to push out for global trade. They first have to have enough for internal, inside the country trade. So, yeah, other than that, I'm not sure why they ran that. And they ran it in a couple of different places too. So, all right. Middle East. Now, no, Washington will not allow the Kurdistan employee salary crisis and the halt of oil exports through Seyhan to continue. So, we've been allowing it all this time. Here again is another article like we're putting our foot down. Enough is enough. You've been playing around long enough. You've been smuggling, stealing. This is it, right? So I thought that was interesting to go out with the first article about we may cut them off the dollar. Let's see. The newspaper reported that mediators, political leaders, popular in Baghdad and Erbil, which is Kurdistan, right, contributed to resolving the crisis. This paved the way for the resumption of salary payments, particularly for May and June, with the hope that the remaining salaries will be dispersed, pending the regional government's payment of its outstanding debts to the central treasury. So it's still dealing with past payments and guarantees, right? But we're like, y'all been kitty footing around long enough. Get it together, right? All right. 2 Kurdish delegations to go to Baghdad. Preparations are underway for a tripartite agreement. And when I saw that word tripartite, I was like, oh no, just like the budget. They did that tripartite budget and it didn't work well. But this is a little different. These words here, for those of you who are just listening, there's an image. It's 1, 2, 3 stacks of 25K notes, then a little, maybe a couple of 25K notes to the left of that, and then a thin stack of 50K notes to the right of that. Then there's wording above. The wording says, the fate of the salaries in the coming months depends on these 2 meetings. Oh my gosh, if I'm a Kurdish citizen, I'm like, well, dang, I hope the meetings go well, right? That's gotta be heartbreaking, right? Because given the past results of the meetings. So yeah, so then it just talks about them. But why is it tripartite? Not only is it the Ministry of Oil that will be there, it will also be the Kurdistan's Ministry of Natural Resources and oil producing companies from the Kurdistan region. So that could be some of those international companies that the Miles B. Kagan's the third is part of. I don't know. So it starts tomorrow at 9:30. So hey, that might be right now, right? They might be at that meeting right now. And then here it says Thursday's a holiday in Iraq. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe. Oh, wait. It says Thursday's meeting. Oh, so even though it's a holiday, they are going to meet on Thursday. Thursday's meeting is about non-oil revenues. This is the biggest hurdle in recent months and should be resolved this week. So Tuesday meeting is about what? I guess oil revenues. And Thursday is about non-oil revenues. So I hope they work it out. I hope they work it out. So if you want to read this, you know, you can. It's there for you. All right. Kurdistan announces, we don't need to spend that much time on this. So they did announce the money was sent. It was received. They're going to start paying. It's going to take 3 days to pay out everyone. And they get text messages or emails to let them know when it's their turn to go get their money out of the ATM or, whatever. But they have 2 articles about it. So then this article, the second one, came with a schedule. But I'm always telling you guys how the tables don't translate well, so I didn't even bother to print it. All right. Here again is another article about there's more than 130 laws that are postponed, just sitting there, awaiting a session to restore confidence. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. It says, as the current parliamentary session draws to a close, members of parliament, and there's his name there, he revealed today, Monday, September 1st, that a large number of draft laws have been postponed to the next parliamentary session in what he describes as legislative failure that must not be repeated. But I don't know when the next parliament will be. It says the next parliament due to the lack of political consensus and other stuff. The number of postponed laws reflects a clear flaw in the legislative authority's performance. Noting that the accumulation of unresolved issues weakens citizens' confidence in the political process and its elected institutions. So now here they have another, this is the government. And then they go on to talk about the squabbling and the fighting. Yeah, so I don't know when, it could be next year when Parliament comes back. Because we're in September. Well, no, maybe they get they could get a 30-day recess. So that would be all of October. But guess what? The elections are, as of today, November 11th. So, yeah, I think Parliament's done for the year. But a lot of people don't think we need them anyway for the rate change. So just take it as data points, right? It's probably not detrimental to the process, but I don't know. Look at those grapes. I just couldn't resist. I love grapes. Someone even sent me a picture of a big old bowl of grapes. But there was lots of articles about the festival. It was the grape festivals and some of the species. Well, there's 12 different varieties. There we go. Varieties of grapes they haven't had for a few years. So I guess conditions have been right. Maybe, money, they had the right money, the right whatever to grow some of the grapes. So look at that. Yeah, just had to put that in there. All right. I'm not sure why this article came out either. $40 billion in Iraqi bank sales in 6 months. So the few banks that are allowed to deal in the dollar, oh, excuse me, they made $40 billion during the first half of this year. And see, that's why they want all the banks to be able to deal in the dollar, because then they'll make more money. So, yeah, so they put that out. Is it Mohammed Saleh? No, it's directly from the CBI. Really short article, so it could be of some importance. There's lots of numbers in here for those of you who like numbers. And here's my one commercial. If you'd like to support my FX buddies, thank you, thank you. When this is a live blog, this Buy Me a Coffee link will be live. Cash App is always live. PayPal is always live. Cash App is $ lowercase Tishwash, so is PayPal. I'm trying to. It looks like this guy that's talking on the TV. It looks like he's in front of an exchange office. Anyway, all right. I remember that article, the video. You probably don't, but there was a video I came across yesterday, and I was gonna translate it. It didn't really say anything, but I did translate it. So anyway, big or small, I appreciate it all, and thank you in advance for your generosity. Ding. All right. Now let's see. Oh, here's an article. This is like, just we could skip this one, but it's talking about it's the president, Iraq's president, Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid, and it looks like he's talking to Fuad Hussein. Yes, he is. And they're just talking about political and security situations in the country. Who knows what they're really talking about, right? Now, Iran. Okay, I haven't really been telling you guys what's been going on with them. So they've been saying, hey, look, we're over here. We're ready to come back to the table. And they've been saying that we have been ignoring them. And I don't know, maybe we have, because, everything that they offer, everything we offer gets rejected, right? So now, look at that. They're ready to reduce uranium enrichment after reaching a comprehensive agreement. But I don't like this because they came to this after they met with Putin and China, not China, Z. And who's the other person? There's another person, maybe the India, Modi, maybe him. So I'm thinking they probably were like, just go on and make the agreement. We'll give you some uranium. I would not put it past them, right? So they have some number here, but I don't know what that means. But they're prepared to reduce the level of enrichment to 3.67. But I don't know what that means. I'm sure you guys do. Someone probably knows what that means. But yeah, so, and that is the enrichment was the red line for them. So if they're now saying, hey, we'll come down off of that, then maybe we will meet them. We'll meet them at the table. And, plus the other trigger could be those 3 countries put sanctions back on them too. And if you listen to if you missed yesterday's episode, stick around after this one, and immediately a little square pops up, and you just click on the little square, and it'll take you right to yesterday's episode. All right, the Netherlands, this article is extremely long. It gives a history. Netherlands, Amsterdam, Dutch, aren't they all like the same? It's the same little area over there, right? Holland. I know, I'm very ignorant to geography of the rest of the world. But this is, yeah, they met. See here, it was a big delegation, and they met and they talked about a lot of stuff, history, and yeah. So if you'd like to read this article, knock yourself out. Um, it says the same thing all the other ones say. You know, an agreement like this. Cooperation has been instrumental in revitalizing a key sector of the Kurdish economy and stands as a model for the Kurdish region's broader diversification strategy. So they've been doing stuff. They want to do some more stuff. Like 10 years worth of stuff, right? So it's a win-win situation, right? Yeah. So very long. I'm not gonna say boring, but just it's very long. All right. I think, is that it? All right, that is it. We are out of here. Well, I did want to say much of today was a very good day for Mosul. They opened up, for those of you who've been here for when is times two took over Iraq, and there was this really old famous mosque, but the minaret is the tower, right? And the minaret, it leaned, but like way more than the Leaning Tower of Pizza. And yeah, they totally demolished that. Mosul was like the last stronghold for is times two, and they booby trapped it. So, they're like, you ain't taking us. We going down, y'all going down with us. So, yeah, it was just obliterated. And 5 years later, they were still finding matter that has DNA in it. I'll just say that. So it's been 8 years, and they rebuilt it, and it opened today, and Sadani was there, and they did all kinds of ceremonies and things you would imagine that there, something like that would be done for. And yeah, so that was the beginning of the day, and more meetings. He was out and about doing all the stuff a good prime minister does. All right, yeah, so I'm just going to close out. Again, I'm going to say thank you. Again, I'm going to ask you to hit the thumbs up. It really does help, and it's free to you, and I appreciate it. And accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals, and pay all your bills. And yeah, I said everything else I need to say. So enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time.